it. It's the running back, Doug Martin, for the score. And the Broncos had another.
From Los Angeles, it's Alone with Rome.
Welcome back. My guest is a two-time WAC Coach of the Year. His Boise State Broncos are ranked number 7 entering the season. I am joined by Chris Petersen. Chris, great to have you on. How are you?
Doing real well, Jim. Thanks for having the Broncos on.
Hey, Chris, that is you, right? I'm having a little trouble making you out with that blue shirt up against that blue turf. I mean, that is you, right?
I did it on purpose. We don't have a problem, do we? You can see me good, can't you?
Yeah, I think that's you. As long as that's you. You're not trying to psych me out or to get some kind of competitive edge for this interview, right?
We're always trying to find that edge, but we don't think blue on blue is that much of an edge.
You know, you and I talked about this on my radio program a few weeks back. Let me just go right there very quickly. I mean, when you heard that the university president said you cannot do this any longer because there's a competitive edge, what was your reaction?
Well, I just didn't really see the point in it. You know, we've worn blue on blue for such a long time. I know our film at times can be difficult to see, but it's more so because of our camera angles. I think everybody's going to this high definition film these days, and our press box is so high that it's not a great shot. I think we're going to try to lower, you know, put a camera on a different level and stuff, and I think it's, you know, making a big deal out of nothing.
All right, so you don't buy it. How strongly do you feel about it? For instance, had you known that coming in, would that have been a deal break, and might you not have gone in the conference because of it?
Well, I kind of do what everybody tells me to do around here. There's no doubt about it, and you know we're all good soldiers. But if it was my decision, yeah, we would have said we're wearing blue. We'd love to come to the conference, but we're coming with our blue.
I got you. All right, let's talk about that conference. You're starting playing the Mountain West. What are the biggest challenges you're going to face in stepping up from the WAC?
Well, I think, you know, this is going to be a tougher. We have to do the same thing that we've done in the past to play in the same type of bowl games, and from top to bottom, it's going to be a tougher road for us to hoe. We're not a BCS conference right now, and so, but top to bottom, it's week in and week out. It's going to be tougher. So we made it tougher on ourselves, but didn't change how we're going to get into a bowl game any easier, and we're well aware of that. And, you know, we're looking forward to the challenge.
Now, you're in the hunt every single year. Can you win a BCS championship if you're not in a BCS conference?
Well, I'll tell you what, this thing has changed so much since I've been here at Boise State. I mean, you know, 10 years ago or 11 years ago when we showed up here, nobody, you know, we were just talking about trying to get to a bowl game, not BCS games. And then, you know, the last few years, we're talking a lot about BCS games, and there's people out there with national championship, and we don't get caught up in all those things. But the one thing that we do know is that the landscape continues to change, and if we just take care of the business, if we just play as well as we can, hey, good things will happen for us.
Yeah, they're happy to see you. You get the sense that the second you show up, not only are they happy to see you, but you are carrying the mantle. You open up against Georgia. You get the feeling that maybe this is one of the biggest, if not the biggest games that conference has ever had?
Well, it seems like every year that's what it's been. The last couple years, you know, we open with Oregon, and then we go to Virginia Tech, and now Georgia, and so that's just kind of how it's been around here. And we're fortunate to be able to play in games like that. We're very appreciative of it. You know, we know the challenge at hand. I mean, the scary thing is you know, you got to come out of the gate playing your very, very best, which is challenging when you've been off for a long time, and but. You know, to play against a great Georgia program, to get that type of exposure, you know, hopefully we play well. We'll see.
You know, Chris, it's a great program in a great conference, but you were saying recently you felt that they were kind of laying in the weeds. That's a quote. How do you mean?
Well, you know, I think Georgia's in a really good position in terms of, I know they got that chip on their shoulder. They were in every single game last year, down into the fourth quarter. A couple of the games they didn't pull out that they think they should have. And they got a lot of good returning players coming back, starting with a great quarterback. And so that's a position that I think a lot of coaches would like to be in. They got talent. They got an edge. They're playing the first game. It's not in their stadium, but very close to it. So, you know, that's a decent position to be in, and we're well aware of it.
Now, because of some NCAA infractions, you are minus 3 practices. 3 practices, Chris. Does that impact the way you get ready for that game? And if so, how?
Well, you know, yeah, everything impacts it, but we've tried to meticulously plan out our fall calendar, maximize every practice, every film session, and just not waste any days. And I think it's going to be okay as long as our guys continue to stay focused, and every chance we get an opportunity to go practice or watch tape, that we don't waste any time, and we get better in every opportunity.
You know, you've got a new opportunity, you've got a new conference, and also a new AD. Gene Blameyer was let go in response to this. What was your reaction to that?
You know, my reaction is that this is a really tough business, and I think we're seeing that across the country. I think you continually see the landscape changing. The microscope continues to get tighter on everybody in all programs. There's very little room for error. And, you know, Gene's done some great things around here without question. Here at Boise, he's been here a long time and really built so much of this program. But that's really my reaction, is just that it's tough. You know, it's tough being a college football coach. It's tough being in college athletics. And, you know, we got to be positive and move forward and take the next step and build from where we are right now.
Oh, new conference and a big challenge coming up with Georgia. Chris, great to visit with you. Always good to have you on the show. Thank you very much.
Yeah, appreciate you having the Broncos on, Jim. Thank you.
Good to have you, Chris. Thank you. When we come back, you'll get my take on whether or not Chris...
Everybody else in the BCS conferences has 2 losses. I wouldn't put Boise State in there. Undefeated, everybody else has 2 losses. Then I'd put him in the championship game. But aside from that, we're talking about the team of the new millennium. We're talking about something built that it has been beautiful. And it doesn't really matter, Romy, because in the next 4 years, we are speeding towards 4 16-team power conferences in college football. Boise State will definitely get an invite to one of those. They'll be in great shape, and they'll be able to express themselves eventually in a BCS conference. I think the Mountain West is going to be a bit of a jump for them.
Hey, listen, I agree with you. This guy is a big-time coach.
Great.
If and when he ends up in one of those major super conferences, he's going to be fine.
Absolutely. They'll take their lumps going through the gauntlet a couple times, like I think Utah will in the Pac-12 South coming up this year. But he's going to be great. I mean, look at Boise State right now. Kellen Moore is one of the best players in the history of college football. Definitely the best they've ever had up there.
He's been there 8 years.
Yeah, he's wonderful.
Isn't that incredible?
Been starting a long time, never misses, never had a bad game.
Lost 2 big-time receivers this year.
Yeah,
but
they have a D-line with pro prospects on it at Boise State.
Right.
It's not smoke and mirrors. It's not a system. It's a great program coached by a great man. They're going to be in great shape. They just have to be patient and wait for an invite.
I agree. Let's talk about topic number 2, Mark Sanchez. What is your reaction to him saying